From the Kiss 92.5 studios in Toronto, Canada.
Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen.
This is Roz and Mocha.
It's Roz and Mocha. What's going on?
Hey guys, this is Bruno Mars.
This is Selena Gomez.
The Chainsmokers.
Lady Gaga.
Calvin Harris.
Celestia Cara.
This is Ed Sheeran.
You're listening to my boys Roz and Mocha.
Roz and Mocha.
My boys Roz and Mocha.
The Roz and Mocha Show.
Between Roz and Mocha, who is your favorite?
Mocha. Roz and Mocha. You guys are so funny, man.
Congratulations, Lisa! Wow!
You just won $1,000.
That's amazing. Y'all just made my entire morning. Keep it up.
You guys are awesome, man. This is the Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Hey, Mocha.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Damn right.
Let's do the news.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
News break.
Novak Djokovic pulled out of a major match after the first set for the first time in his career. He was injured because of a torn muscle in his left leg after dropping the first set of his Australian Open semifinal against Alexander Zverev. And this was the crowd's reaction because they think he's full of it or whatever, and they booed him.
This is disappointing. The drive for 25 ends right here.
This hurts all of us to see him go out like this. I can't believe some people are booing. That's bogus. And yeah, there's some people are booing and Novak's putting the thumbs up. That's just horrendous.
And so that was after one set. And here is they grabbed Alexander after the match was suspended to get his thoughts on it.
No, the very first thing I want to say is, please, guys, don't boo a player when he goes out with injury. He is. I know that everybody paid for tickets and everybody wants to see hopefully a great 5-set match and everything, but you got to understand Novak Djokovic is somebody that has given this sport for the past 20 years absolutely everything of his life. And he has won this turn with an abdominal tear. He has won this turn with a hamstring tear. If he cannot continue a tennis match, it really means that he cannot continue a tennis match. So please be respectful and really show some love for Novak as well.
Oh, that's real nice.
Classy, huh?
Very guy.
Classy.
Yeah, very classy.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Spirit Airlines has announced a new dress code. So Spirit Airlines went through it last year because there was 2 women on the flight who were wearing crop tops that got kicked off, asked to leave the flight because Spirit felt that their outfits were too revealing. So under the updated terms of Spirit's contract of carriage, passengers are prohibited from wearing see-through outfits, exposing private parts, or displaying lewd, obscene, or offensive body art, so tattoos. When you buy your ticket,
tattoos.
obscene, well, whatever they deem obscene. That's the whole thing with somebody saying obscene. It's like, what's obscene to somebody, right?
Yeah.
Is the devil's face obscene to somebody? Right? Is, I don't know. Like, sometimes people just have cartoon characters doing lewd things, like whatever, right? I don't know. Maybe a word. Maybe you have the F word tattooed on you, right? I don't know. But what's obscene? Who knows? But when you look at the outfits these girls were wearing, women, they were white sort of crop tops, cleavage, and they weren't it wasn't a bra. It was just like a regular sort of crop top, and they got booted. So now as soon as you buy a ticket on Spirit and you pay for it, you automatically sign this. Right, so they have the ability to now kick you off the flight.
Wow!
There you go. So no crop tops, Mocha.
Or
if
secret clothing.
If you're traveling Spirit Airlines.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Tina Turner, who I absolutely love. I think she's got the best voice in pop and rock and roll and whatever you want to call it. She's the top for me. And her 1980s album, Private Dancer, I guess there was a song that got lost. And I don't know where it got lost, how it got lost, but they found it. And they're going
they found it?
I don't know. It was in a vault. It was a recording that wasn't used on Private Dancer. And now they're re-releasing a anniversary edition of Private Dancer in March. And I guess this is going to be included. But this is Hot For You, Baby.
I've been sitting here for the last few hours.
Oh, my God.
Looking at you. Stretching my imagination to the point of where I can maybe get my hands on you. The way that you've been moving.
Watch your damn self, Tina.
How good is that, right?
That is.
But how do you lose? Because Tina Turner lived a long life after recording that song, and she was never like, yo, whatever happened to Hot For You, Baby?
Yeah.
Like, I remember recording that. I really loved it. I thought it was a great song. We had some great musicians in that day. Had a great time. Never wound up on Private Dancer. But, like, whatever happened to that? Like, you never, like, nobody questioned?
Yeah.
Like, whatever happened to that track?
Also, can we just show love?
Yeah. Oh.
$1 million.
What a voice.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nobody
One
can
of the
touch
greatest.
her. Nobody can touch her. Nobody.
Yeah, that's weird that nobody would bring up. Like Tina wouldn't bring up, or the producers, or
but I guess you
anybody
do
in her
so
life.
much, right?
Sure.
Like you just do.
This was just maybe like one of many.
Yeah.
And they found it, and they were like, "This is the one that we're going to release."
Sure. Yeah. Which is just bonkers to me. So, for all those Tina Turner fans, the Private Dancer Anniversary album comes out in March.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
So a couple of years ago, Kanye, when he was going through all that stuff, when he was self-destructing and ruining everything and losing all his deals, and he had said at the time that he was 2 months away from declaring bankruptcy. And so Kanye now posted yesterday, it was some sort of statement, written statement from Eaton Venture Services, which I guess are his money guys. Mm-hmm. And the statement reads, in 2025, Ye's net worth stands at $2.77 billion US, as confirmed by Eaton Venture Services. The valuation is based on his music portfolio and his sole ownership of Yeezy. And then Kanye wrote, la, 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 at the in the comments. So that's what sort of like all his stuff is worth. That's the kind of valuation of everything.
Doesn't mean that's what he has.
It doesn't mean that's what he has. Does he have access to that? Well, I don't know. Could he divest? I don't know. But so I guess this was Kanye's way of saying that he's back because he lost. The big headline was back then he lost $2 billion in a day when Adidas canceled the deal with him, right? Is that he was $2 billion in the hole, which is a crazy number to think about.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Kendrick Lamar posted a video revealing who he will bring out on stage at the Super Bowl halftime show on Feb 9th. So you're going to hear Kendrick talking, right? And spoiler alert, it sort of goes into slow-mo in the video, and then SZA walks up behind him and dumps Gatorade on him.
What's up with it? Yeah, everything's smooth. I'm on the field right now. Yeah, you know, same old, keeping the body in motion. Getting that wind up. You know, this field a lot bigger than what people think, so that's a must. That's what she said. Exactly. Now, I've been thinking about a guest performance.
And then he gets soaked.
Damn.
How do you feel about that?
Listen, I love SZA.
Yeah.
And I have been listening to her latest album nonstop lately.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's right for the Super Bowl.
They're touring together, though, right?
I know. She's signed to his record label, so it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
SZA and Kendrick on the same stage.
But,
Dang.
like, the songs that they
slap
have,
to drink.
yeah, and like the songs that they have together aren't anthems. They're not big, loud, up-tempo, fast-paced songs.
Yeah.
Right? They're mid to down-tempo.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag have filed a lawsuit against the city of Los Angeles after losing their home in the Palisades fire. Them, along with 20 other residents, claim L.A. poorly managed the city's water supply and infrastructure. In the documents, they cite reports about the Santa Ynez Reservoir, which holds 117 million gallons of water, being inactive since February 2024 because of ongoing repairs. They claim that they drained the reservoir as a cost-saving measure, therefore putting it out of commission for firefighters to use against the flames. They and their fellow plaintiffs argue that the city of Los Angeles designed a public water system that didn't, quote, have enough water pressure to fight an urban fire. So they've launched a lawsuit.
Wow.
I don't know where that's going to go. Probably nowhere, but those things cost a lot of money.
You don't think it would go anywhere?
No. I mean, they don't have the money to fight the city of Los Angeles. It's just sort of like maybe they hope for a settlement of some sort. Maybe they're first out of the gate to get a settlement. Who knows?
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
I'm reading this article. Who did this? It was in the Telegraph. Let me read you this headline. Touchscreen dashboards have finally taken over and ruined driving. I fully agree with this.
Oh, God, here we go.
Because you don't have one.
No, Catherine does, though, and I can't stand driving her car.
Why?
I hate touchscreen dashboards.
Okay.
Because it forces you, because I like to feel around, right? Mm-hmm. I know where all the things are in my car. Right?
In the car, yeah.
I know where all the buttons are. I don't have to take my eyes off the road. If I want to go on a preset from 1 to 4, my fingers, it's like Braille. I know exactly where everything is.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah, but you know where things are on your touchscreen, too.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You don't.
After
you got to
a while.
flip screens.
No.
You're swiping. It's a mess. Touch screens.
knobs.
Yes, I like knobs. Thank you.
I love all
knobs
the tech,
and
man.
buttons.
I'm used to the tech. I know
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it is a disaster
Also, you can
for driving.
fully just
And
use your Siri in your car.
You go over a bump and you press the wrong thing, right? You can't. Roads in this city using a touch
What are you
screen.
going over that? Your whole arm moves over.
Driving
to
the
that
city.
side.
Driving the city. It's a mess.
Shem?
Using a
You're
touch
awfully
screen.
quiet over there.
A mess.
I don't. I was gonna say I like knobs too.
Yes. Thank you.
No, don't need to say anything else.
Oh man.
Yes. Right?
I stayed quiet.
Yes.
You know? Jeez.
Oh, who's all for knobs? Hands up for knobs.
Knobs all the way.
Knobs all
Shem,
day.
put your damn hand up for the knobs.
yeah.
Shemmy, let's hear you say it. Knobs all day. Knobs all day.
Knobs all day,
Thank
baby.
you. Knobs all day.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Sundance is happening right now. Quickly before we go, I guess they did an interview with Paul Rubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman, before he passed. And in the interview, this was his final interview, and I don't know why this is a headline, but he in the interview says that he was gay.
I thought we all knew he was gay already.
He never came out.
He never came out.
He didn't?
No.
Are you
But,
sure?
Sorry, early in his career, he was out and gay.
Yeah.
And then he became Pee Wee Herman, and he threw himself back into the closet.
Oh.
Because he
Well,
was.
once you're out and you announce it.
No, but there was no. This is the early '80s. Like there
I
was
don't
no
know.
way to announce
I always
it.
thought that everybody knew.
But because he decided to become a children's entertainer, he threw himself back in the closet, and then he had that whole thing in the movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
Right, if you remember that. Yeah. Right, which was he got railroaded for that.
Yeah.
Like just
like,
you know this story, Maria. You don't know the story.
No, I don't.
Paul Rubens. Do you know who Pee Wee Herman is?
I know now. I Googled them.
Okay, stop. Okay, anyway, never mind. I'm not gonna go through the history. But anyway, so he came out in his final interview, and that's in the new Pee Wee Herman documentary, which I'm looking very much forward to seeing.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
So Dave Franco has finally talked about Luigi Mangione. Luigi Mangione was the guy who shot the healthcare CEO in New York City. Because everybody was like, when that happened, they were like, oh my God, Dave Franco needs to play him in a movie, because I guess everybody thought Luigi Mangione was A, looked like Dave Franco, and B, hot, right? So he was like the hot guy. And
Read Maria?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
He's the hot Franco.
Is Dave Franco's the hot Franco?
Yeah, I remember telling him that.
More so than what's the other guy's name?
James.
Oh, you don't see him anymore. He got canceled. Right?
Yeah.
So at least they didn't cancel the hot one, though.
Thank God.
Well, he has a new role coming up then.
So Dave Franco and his wife Allison Brie, who is also awesome, are in Sundance right now. They got a new movie coming out, and they ask him if he had heard that people say that he should be playing Luigi Mangione.
Luigi. Anyone? Do you mean everyone?
I've never received more texts in my life about anything.
Yeah. But I don't think there's been any official offers.
No official.
It's just friends being like, hey, you look like this guy.
Yeah. Not just friends. Anyone who has my phone number has reached out about it.
Damn. Wow. Like everybody. I would hate that. Could you imagine if you look like a guy who killed a guy and everybody's like, yo.
You look like him.
I'm like, shut up.
Like, you know, I'd be so nervous to look at my phone every time I get a notification.
Every single time.
Like, oh, I get a text from Roz.
Yeah.
Right? Oh.
Well, when it was all going down, like everybody was just talking about, oh, well, Netflix's new documentary is going to be with Dave Franco. And it was just ran wild.
Yo, you know what, though? He could like seriously catch a bag.
Yeah, but he couldn't do it now, though. I don't think he could
Why
do
not?
it now. No, I don't know. I think they'd have to. First of all, it's way too soon.
No. Once it's all said and done, can you imagine how much money?
Yeah.
Racks on racks.
I don't know.
Come on.
I don't think he would do it, to be honest with you, just because he looks so much like him and because it's so predictable and everything else. Right? I don't know.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Hey, you want to feel old? Octomom Nadia Suleman took to Instagram over the weekend to wish her octuplets a very happy 16th birthday.
I thought them kids were a lot older than that.
And these are her youngest kids.
Oh.
So the 8 babies. She's the mother of 14.
She is?
Yes. So she's the mother of 14.
Did I know this? Did we know this?
And then had the octuplets, who are now 16. So she wrote on social, "You are loved, valued, and appreciated more than words can express.
You are a lot.
I am so blessed to have you in my life and excited and grateful for the journey that we are about to embark on." And then she names them all by name. You want to know the names?
Hit me.
I think that you should have diversified a little bit in the names because too many of these sound alike.
Is there like Doug, Douglas,
No.
Dougie?
Okay, so Noah, Isaiah, Neriah, Malia, Jeremiah, Josiah, Jonah, and Makai.
Some biblical names there.
Some biblical names. And when you look at the kids too, like 7 of them look like siblings, sort of like olive skin, dark hair. And then on the end, there's like one blonde kid.
Oh, how'd that happen?
I don't know. Like when you have 8, like 7 of them look very much like siblings. Right?
Same hair color. Same hair color, same eye color, same complexion, everything. And then on the end, you got like a blonde kid with like blue eyes. Oh.
Like he does not look like he came out. Like it was wild. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that happens.
Ran out of the dark hair.
I guess.
You'll give him some blonde.
I guess.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Experts are trying to push for people to stop waking up to your phone and start waking up to old school alarm clocks.
Oh.
Especially if you're trying to build some sort of new routine, like if you have a new job, let's say, or you've started to work out and you want to go to the gym, or you have other commitments where you're trying to sort of start a new routine. They're saying go for the alarm clock and not the phone. They say keeping the phone in another room will likely decrease the opportunity for distraction from sleep and also decrease opportunity for sleep procrastination. A phone by your bed could also mean easy access to scroll at night and easy snooze button manipulation in the morning.
So easy.
Well,
they say hitting the snooze button once might help you psychologically, but more than once isn't recommended because you aren't getting good sleep with those extra minutes. They say instead of setting an alarm for earlier than you need to wake up and then hitting snooze, they recommend just allow yourself to sleep uninterrupted until you absolutely must wake up. Snooze is the death of sleep. They say when you don't get enough sleep or good quality sleep, the likelihood of that extra 5 to 10 minutes of sleep is
very beneficial.
It has meaningless impact to your overall sleep and how you feel after you do wake up.
Don't control my usage of the
I'm
snooze.
not. I'm just telling you what they say.
But the good thing is on your alarm, you can actually write something so when you go to your alarm and it goes off, you can put writing underneath. Like there was one time that I wrote, "Stop being a lazy butt and go to the gym." So that when I woke up, I looked at it.
Isn't that what the alarmist is just supposed to tell you anyway?
No.
That's what the alarm's for.
No, the alarm is just a sound.
Yeah, but you know what the sound is for.
Yeah, but sometimes you just need the extra reassurance. Like
Who uses snooze? Do you snooze, Mocha?
Yep.
You do? How many
I snooze all
snoozes?
5 of my alarms.
How many snoozes?
3.
3 snoozes.
Yeah. So I have like first alarm, and then the second one, and then my third one in all caps. It says "Wake your ass up."
More, you snooze?
Yeah, I have, and I actually use an old school alarm too. So that one goes off 5 minutes before my other one.
So wait a second. How many snoozes do you do though?
1.
1 snooze. For how long's a snooze?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. How long is your snooze, Mocha?
5 minutes.
Maria, how long's your snooze?
Some are 5, some are 8.
Some are 8.
Yeah, it depends what time of day
No,
it
you
is.
guys are no. It's not good sleep. You guys are all getting bad sleep.
To be honest, none of us get good
It's
sleep. We wake up
all-
at 3 a.m.
It's all bad sleep.
Yeah, I could have told you that from the beginning.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Former $1 million listing real estate agent Josh Altman says that he believes that a staggering 70% of Pacific Palisades residents will not return and rebuild their homes. 70%.
Where are they going to go?
So this is the fire that destroyed 16,000 structures. He said they're not staying away because they want to. He goes, of course they want to go back. They're not going to return because it's simple math. I don't believe they're going to be able to afford to rebuild. He goes on to say we're talking about $1,000 per square foot to build in places like Pacific Palisades and Malibu, with most people heavily underinsured and construction costs skyrocketing. It is just not feasible for so many. It's a disaster even with insurance. And the situation has only been more complicated because, as we know, all the insurance providers started pulling out, reducing coverage, and are now flat out refusing to even issue policies altogether. And for the people who do want to rebuild, California, notoriously slow for the construction process and all the bureaucratic red tape you got to go through. They say that just getting a single permit for a house could take up to 1 year just to get a permit. And if you are anywhere near the coastline, add 2 years to that.
Wow.
So if you're, which is basically everybody who was down there, close to the coastline. So even to just get permitted, you're looking at 3 years to be able to rebuild, and then $1,000 a square foot with no insurance. Like, it's just, I don't know. You sell the lot, I guess. You just sell the lot, and then somebody else is going to build on it, which is crazy.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Timothy Chalamet on Saturday Night Live over the weekend. Here's a little bit of his opening
A
monologue.
complete unknown just got 8 Academy Award nominations. Thank you. And I'm truly overjoyed. I was literally crying in my dressing room here when I found out the entire creative team worked extremely hard bringing to life the brilliant artist Bob Dylan, a man whose music and career has become a guiding light to me. And it's an enormous honor going to these award shows. It's such a great experience, but I just keep losing. And each time, it gets harder to pretend it doesn't sting. Man, just another lonely night with my Dune popcorn bucket.
Do you remember the Dune popcorn bucket?
Maury still has it.
I was just going to say, mine's under my bed, too.
That's so
he never said his was under his bed.
Oh, didn't he?
Two. And then he also was the musical guest, and he did 3 Bob Dylan songs, like 2 sort of put together, and like really deep cuts of Bob Dylan stuff.
Amazing.
He didn't do any of the sort of Bob Dylan that anybody would really know if you were just like, I sort of know who Bob Dylan is.
He addresses that in the beginning. He says, I'm going to do songs you probably don't know, but they're my favorite.
Oh, okay. I got you. That makes sense. But you listen to this and you tell me, because in the movie, he really, really sounds like Bob Dylan. But when he's singing at SNL, he sort of just sounds like Timothy Chalamet. Like,
yes, and only if she was lying by me.
Maybe not so much this
and
one.
I'd lie in my bed once again.
He's playing guitar too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
I mean, he sounds good, right?
I can't see my reflection in the water.
Sounds fine. I mean, it sounds like Bob Dylan.
Speak the sounds to show
You know what?
Yeah.
Not knowing what Bob Dylan sounds like?
Yeah.
If you say he sounds like him?
Yeah.
Good
Sort
job,
of does.
Timothy Chalamet.
Play the other one. What else you got over there?
Outlaw Blues?
Yeah.
Yo, was his girl there?
No, she wasn't.
Yes, she
No.
was.
She was?
Yes, she was.
Oh, she wasn't at
not
the
on
after
stage.
party.
She was at the after party with him. There
Was
were
she
pictures.
really?
Yeah.
Oh. And Adam Sandler was the one who introduced him, by the way, as the musical guest.
All right, so you got 3 angels up above the street. And each one of those angels.
Did Sandler do like his? Like
No,
a funny,
he didn't. No, he just.
Here's Timothy Chalamet.
Bro, he didn't even take his like winter coat off.
He never does.
Sandler?
No.
Just a quick, yo, here's Tim.
Yeah, he had his,
I gotta go.
he had his hands in his pockets, and he was just like, yo, here's Timothy Chalamet.
I gotta go back home.
It was the wildest thing.
I'll be home by the end of this performance.
But yeah, you're right, Maury. He just dressed like regular Adam Sandler, which is like not much.
He didn't say, here's Timothy Chalamet.
No, he didn't do it. I wish he did. Yeah.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
There's an esthetician. How do you say that? Esthetician
Yes.
In New York City busted. Joey Grant Luther got popped.
That sounds like an
He's
evil
been
guy
accused of injecting people with counterfeit Botox from China, causing them to experience symptoms like difficulty swallowing, heart palpitations, and slurred speech. He's facing 20 years in prison.
Ooh.
So he's not legally authorized to administer Botox. One former client allegedly got double vision after getting Botox and spent thousands of dollars on CAT scans as well as MRIs and specialists to try to get to the bottom of the problem. And another client tells the New York Post that this scandal is rocking the gay community because that was the heart of this guy's customer base. He wasn't a doctor. He was just some guy. And the appeal was the fact that he did it cheap.
Yeah.
So
Like
he
how
would
much?
do $300 for one area. And then they said that if you go to somebody who's more reputable, like top in the business, you're going to pay way more than that. One patient was unable to lift her arms and experienced full weakness from above the waist. But the problem was they kept texting this guy going, yo, I got like all these problems going on. Because could it be from the Botox? And he kept writing back, no, I haven't heard anything. And they're like,
Really?
is anybody else at the clinic experiencing anything like this? And so one person had all this stuff, right? Where it was just like a bad reaction and everything else. And then it eventually got better. They didn't know it was the Botox and they went back for more Botox after they were writing this guy being like, yo, is it the Botox? And he's like, no, it's not the Botox.
By the way, I have an appointment open.
Did
Right?
they say how much he was charging per unit?
It was $300 for one area is what they said.
For one area, okay.
Yeah. So bad. So 20 years is what this guy's going to get.
I mean, double vision sounds kind of cool.
For what purpose?
Yeah. Well, you already wear glasses.
You think Matthew needs more of you at home?
I thought I'm the one that has the double vision.
Yeah. But Botox is just wild to me, right? But I don't know. I guess in New York, like you have to be either registered or a doctor because they were like, this guy's not even a doctor. I don't know what it's like here. Can't just anybody jam you with Botox here?
No, you have to be certified. You have to get a license now to administer any sort of Botox.
There's got to be people who are
filler.
jamming Botox into people though that don't.
Probably
don't
there's
have a
someone in their
license.
basement doing it for sure.
Of course there are. $200, $300, no more wrinkles. Sign me up, right?
Double vision.
Yeah, exactly.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Man, this whole AI thing that went down yesterday was crazy. So
Was it real?
NVIDIA, which is the company, it's like the biggest company in the world, which makes the semiconductor chips, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they took an absolute beating yesterday when investors who were super concerned about the new Chinese AI startup DeepSeek, and it wound up erasing a record amount of stock value from NVIDIA. So NVIDIA shares tumbled 17% yesterday. That is the biggest drop since March 2020, erasing $589 billion of the company's market cap yesterday.
Billion with a B, right?
Billion with a B. So DeepSeek came out, and they're an open source code platform, for one. Even though OpenAI is called OpenAI, but they're not open source. And what they came out and said was, hey, we did what ChatGPT and what all the other big American AI companies did, and we did it with a fraction of the semiconductors at a fraction of the price. And so because the U.S. right now is spending an exorbitant amount of money in AI tech, Elon Musk and everything else, that they came out and said, yo, we did it faster, we did it cheaper, and we need less semiconductors. Now, a lot of people in the States are not believing it. They just think it's lies, like full stop. But it didn't matter because the market took an absolute beating yesterday over DeepSeek. DeepSeek.
Yeah,
These company names.
Y'all gotta Go, like, ask your friends first.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I know.
You know, I got these names for this company.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Right? If they start flaming and roasting you for it,
Yeah.
maybe don't go down that road.
And they're all dumb names, but we all just adapt. Like Chat GPT is so stupid.
I know.
It's a terrible name.
But now
Kind of sticks though.
That's what she said.
Because we got no choice, right?
Yeah.
DeepSeek.
Yeah.
Right? Come on now. But yeah, so I
Definitely
don't
didn't
I
ask
don't-
your friends.
I don't know whether they're lying or they're telling the truth or who's lying, but it's the number one app on Apple today.
Jeez.
So that's all they need to do. Mission accomplished, I guess, for those guys. But man, $589 billion.
Are they going to spy on me if I download this app?
Probably, yes. Yeah. They're going to know all your keystrokes and your everything else.
I'm a deep strokes. Deep seek.
They'll know it all. They'll know it all.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
I guess Madonna was testing out new material on stage at the Comedy Cellar in New York on Saturday night.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Madonna
she
the
was-
singer?
Yeah, she was there with Amy Schumer, and Amy Schumer brought her up on
And she
on
was
stage.
singing to a comedy crowd?
No, she was doing comedy.
Stop it.
Doing comedy. Yes, she did a full 30-minute set, apparently. Somebody who was in the show said, because it's a small room, if you've ever been there, it's 150 people.
Yeah, I have been there.
She goes, she did well enough, but the audience was just so stunned that it was Madonna. It took them the entire set to even warm up to her. She didn't do so well as you'd think she would. She got laughs every time she dropped the F-bomb because really, just hearing Madonna curse is funny. She also nailed a joke about how with all these Trump deportations, she's not going to have any staff left, which got some laughs, but everyone was really just shocked that they were there.
Do you think
So
maybe
that's the
Amy
review.
Schumer wrote her jokes?
I don't think so.
I think she probably helped her a whole lot. Yeah. A full 30-minute set, that's hard to do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But anyway, I guess Madonna's doing stand-up. I don't know.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
PETA, the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, is trying to do away with Groundhog Day and Punxsutawney Phil.
What?
The group is seeking to replace Groundhog Day. They say that if you get rid of Groundhog Day, PETA will deliver a delicious weather reveal vegan cake each Groundhog Day in perpetuity. If the club agrees to let Punxsutawney Phil and his family retire to a reputable sanctuary. So they want to replace groundhogs, Punxsutawney Phil, with a cake that they just they reveal.
Whether the cake sees its shadow?
Whether I guess they would it would be like a baby, those stupid
Like a
gender
baby
reveals
reveal?
where
Yeah.
they cut the cake and it would be winter
That's not how it
or
works, though, Peter.
spring. They say groundhogs are shy prey who, when allowed, actively avoid humans. Yet year after year, Phil is transported to Gobbler's Knob, whisked on stage, and subjected to a noisy announcer, screaming crowds, and flashing lights. If approached in his natural habitat, he would run away in fear, not volunteer to live year-round in captivity, unable to do anything that's natural and important to him, like hibernate and burrow, just to be a town's once-a-year fake meteorologist. I mean, when you put it that way. Wow.
Well, I mean, there's groundhogs on the side of the DVP that always just pop up. We can use one of them.
I love those guys so
Yeah,
much.
I know. Every time I drive in, I'm in traffic and they're just like eating an apple or something. I'm like, hey, they're so cute.
But then you got to catch one, which is, again, what their whole thing is. Right?
But if they're not afraid of the cars on the DVP,
I mean, I would say they're very much afraid of the cars on the DVP.
they're just chilling. They hang out.
Yeah.
People throw food at them.
So they want to deliver a cake?
Yes. That's the solution. Is a weather
vegan
reveal. Is a weather reveal. First of all, vegan cakes, like
never had
maybe 1 in 20 are okay, right? The rest just dry your mouth out.
I get what they're trying to say. I mean, maybe they do like a fake AI groundhog instead of a cake on the broadcast. Because what are you going to do? It's going
You
to
need
like
to see the shadow, though.
Are they
How
going
are
to
we
cut
gonna
the
know?
cake and give it out to everyone? Like, does everyone get to have a piece?
I imagine maybe. I don't
is
know.
the cake the shape of a groundhog?
I don't know.
You know, like the ones you get at Costco with the little arms.
I don't know.
I had a SpongeBob cake like that once.
That seems more brutal to be cutting into a cake shaped like a groundhog.
I mean, they've done more brutal. Remember when the hog died and they put pennies on his eyes?
Oh my God, I know, poor guy.
And it was stuffed. So they They got a stuffed groundhog and they put pennies on his eyes, like, and try to play it off like he just died.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
meanwhile,
remember
he'd been dead forever.
Poor guy. Yeah,
Had,
where were you
a
then,
funeral.
Peter?
Yeah.
Where were you then with our cake?
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Selena Gomez posted and then deleted a video where she was sobbing, crying over the deportations that are happening in America yesterday.
Just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. So many people are getting attacked. The children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
I guess why the backlash happened is because as it is right now, they're targeting people with criminal histories, right? Like they're targeting people who have been charged or convicted or have broke bail or any of those things. It's not
And are
like
in the country illegally, right?
Yes, it's not the it's not the sort of children anyway. So people really went in on Selena Gomez, and then she deleted that, and then wrote apparently it's not okay to show empathy for people, and then I believe she deleted that as well. Not too sure, but anyway, so that was why Selena Gomez was trending like crazy yesterday.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Martha Stewart, Shem.
Talk to me.
Okay, here we go. So Martha Stewart, as we know, she did time in the joint.
Yeah.
Right? Came out a boss.
Yeah. Shem's ting.
Right? She was talking to Jimmy Fallon because he brought up a good point. Martha Stewart over the years has been parodied so many times on Saturday Night Live, right?
Yeah.
Like so many times they did. Like they used to have the Martha Stewart character on Saturday Night Live. Remember the topless Christmas skit that she did?
Oh, yeah.
Which was like, it's so funny. But why has Martha not hosted Saturday Night Live?
Would you ever want to host Saturday Night Live one day?
I wanted to, and they asked me as I was coming out of Alderson, that camp that I was in for a while, and my parole officer wouldn't give me the time to do it. You know, it takes.
The camp, yeah.
I was allowed to be out of my house 8 hours a day.
The parole officer said no?
No, that bastard.
He said, well, you're not allowed to leave.
His name and his number.
Yeah. But they wouldn't let you do so. But Lauren called you and said, would you like to host?
Yeah, I'm so pissed. But oh my God. Maybe someday.
No, you'd be fantastic.
Oh, I
host.
would. I would be amazing.
I'd watch.
Shocking.
On mute. But why? Like, how long has she been out of the joint for?
Oh, forever.
Right.
Like, why hasn't it happened yet?
Uh-huh.
That I don't know. Because I think that, as soon as she got out, they were like, oh, my God, let's capitalize on this.
Yeah.
And then the parole officer
I'd say
said
she's
no.
more famous now than she
I would
was
agree.
when she first got out of the joint.
I would agree. I
Right.
don't know. I think that, to me, it makes perfect sense to do Martha Stewart hosting with Snoop as the musical guest.
You know what? I was going to say the
Right?
exact same thing.
I don't know how they haven't booked that show yet.
Yes.
Yep. Right?
I was
think
gonna say
that
the exact same thing.
That would be a legendary combination.
I think it would be, and then they would do skits together.
Of course.
Some Martha's weed shop, or Snoop is
getting jealous. Let's stop.
Yeah.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
There's plans to bring back the dodo,
Sorry,
the dodo bird.
What do you mean bring it back?
So there's a company called Colossal who plans to use gene editing technology to tweak the DNA of the dodo's closest living relative, which is the pigeon. The idea is to insert dodo DNA into a developing pigeon embryo, giving birth to a bird that would genetically be a dodo. Now, the dodo was first of all, it's been extinct for 3 centuries.
I have no idea.
It didn't have a lot going on. It laid 1 egg a year. It couldn't fly. It was an easy target for predators.
Lazy.
Right? It's not cute in any way.
How you spell it?
D-O-D-O.
Oh, really? That's it?
Yeah.
Simp.
Scientists
what
behind...
a simp. Look at you. No wonder you're extinct. Look at these pictures. If you Google image dodo bird.
Don't goof on the dodo. Come on.
No wonder, fam. Look at you. Simp.
Scientists behind the de-extinction efforts say that these animals could help combat climate change, and perfecting the science could save endangered animals. Colossal, the company, also wants to bring back the woolly mammoth and the Tasmanian tiger.
No. Critics, we not watch Jurassic Park?
Meanwhile, are arguing that the reintroduction of extinct animals, which is so far into the future, by the way, could disrupt existing ecosystems. And they also question whether these scientists should be, quote, playing God in the first place. So they want to bring back the dodo. It's like a useless bird.
I know. You're like one egg a year. And then what do you do for the rest of the year?
Nothing.
Walk around like an idiot?
Try not to die. That's what, that was the job of the dodo, was just try not to die. Try not to die before you lay one egg a year.
You know, in Guyanese culture or Guyanese slang, dodo means to like sleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like if you're trying to put a baby to sleep, right?
Yeah.
You're patting it on its back if it's crying. You're like dodo baby dodo.
Oh, in white, it's when somebody's dumb.
Like the bird.
Yeah, you like stop being a dodo.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Cultures, huh?
Yeah. Look at us coming together. I learned something today.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Lady Gaga announced, what is it, like LG7? That's not the official name of the album, as I've just learned, right? It is called what, Maury?
Mayhem.
Mayhem will be the Lady Gaga's album. Set to be released on March 7th. She will debut a new single during a commercial break during the Grammy Awards on Sunday. 14 tracks with the previous release singles, Disease and Die With A Smile, will be on there. So there you go with that. Everybody happy about the new Gaga album.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
One Direction may be getting back together, I guess, in one way, shape, or form to honor Liam Payne at the Brit Awards coming up in March.
Amazing.
I don't think they're going to be performing. What they say is that the producers are planning an emotional segment to honor Liam Payne, and the speculation is that Harry, Louis, Niall, and Zayn may sort of do some sort of thing on stage together or show up. Yeah, I don't think they're going to perform. What are you going to do? That's what makes you beautiful?
No.
No, they would do like a cover of a different song.
I think there's
him.
zero chance they perform.
They could do like Hallelujah or something, like super somber to the
No, I think that
memoriam.
they'll show up and they'll be together and they'll say something.
It might be
nice.
just too weird for them to reunite that way.
I don't think I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe it would be beautiful and they're going to blow everybody away, but I can't see them getting up there and doing a song together, especially because they just haven't done it in so long, right?
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Oh, apparently it's not just men who are attracted to younger partners. Women are too. So new research suggests men and women are equally attracted to younger partners, even if they don't consciously realize it. A new study found that both sexes tend to slightly favor younger individuals when dating. So they had like 4,500 people and they put them all on dates over the years and everything else. And after a blind date, the participants were slightly, both men and women, more attracted to younger partners. And this trend was across the board. So the findings challenge the common assumptions that men in established relationships are typically older than their female partners, and that women tend to lean towards older men. The study highlights the absolute disconnect between what the women's stated preferences were and what they said they were actually attracted to after the date. So they said, so many women said, I prefer older men, but after the study and after the dates, they came out of the dates and their preference was actually the younger men. Now, the one thing this study... Who's clapping? Shem? No, Shem's not clapping.
Not me,
Maury.
man.
Maury's clapping. Hey. But the one thing they did not look at, the study did absolutely no research into whether these older-younger dynamics play into any sort of long-term relationship.
Oh.
It was only after blind dates.
Right.
So after a single date.
Okay.
Right? So I guess that's, why wouldn't that be? You got some young ting in front of you giving you eyes, right? Like,
ain't the only thing they're giving to you.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
God, that American Airlines crash. Jesus. So an American Airlines, one of the smaller planes, collided with a Black Hawk helicopter.
Oh, boy. How did that even happen?
Who knows? And it plunged into the Potomac River.
Like with all
just
the tech.
outside of Reagan International Airport in
planes
Virginia.
and helicopters, especially the helicopter, military-grade helicopter.
I don't know.
How does that happen?
I don't know. The jet had 60 passengers on board, crew of 4, and then there were 3 soldiers on board of the helicopter. Here is somebody from the scene.
This evening at 8:48, an alert was sounded, initiating a large regional response to a report of an aircraft crash on approach to the airport. At 8:58, the first units arrived on the scene and found an aircraft in the water and began rescue operations. This incident has grown. There's currently about 300 responders working, so it's a highly complex operation. The conditions out there are extremely rough.
On board the flight were figure skaters and coaches were among the passengers. In a statement, U.S. Figure Skating says that they can confirm that several members of our skating community were sadly aboard American Airlines Flight 5342. These athletes, coaches, and family members were returning home from the National Development Camp held in conjunction with the U.S. Figure Skating Championships in Wichita, Kansas. We are devastated by this unspeakable tragedy and hold the victims and families closely in our hearts. That is just crazy, man. Terrible. I don't know. I'm with you. I don't know. Like, how does that happen? Like 2 things in the sky. How do they like collide?
Yeah.
Like the odds of that happening.
Even with like air traffic control right there?
Everything.
Don't they monitor that stuff?
I guess, but maybe they don't monitor Blackhawks because they're military.
But
So
somebody
they can
has
just
to. It's
do
military.
whatever. I get you. I know. I hear you.
I'm sure we'll get the answers.
I don't know, man.
Soon one day.
Oh, so sad.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Fire Aid is happening tonight. This is going to be a long night, man. So the show starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, and it's 5 hours. Yikes. So at the Intuit Dome, Billie Eilish, Gracie Adams, Jelly Roll, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Lil Baby, Olivia Rodrigo, Rod Stewart, Stevie Wonder, Sting, Tate McRae, Earth, Wind, and Fire. And then over at the Kia Forum, Alanis Morissette, Graham Nash, Green Day, John Fogerty, Joni Mitchell, No Doubt, Pink, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Stevie Nicks, Black Crowes, Dave Matthews, and John Mayer. Wow. And I guess like how it's going to work. So there's 28 performers, and the show's going to run over 5 hours. And in order to ensure, they say, each venue and the viewers at home get to see every performance, the sets are going to be staggered. So the show will begin at 6 p.m. Pacific time, which is 9 p.m. our time, at the Kia Forum. And then they say that the...
Oh, wait, 9 o'clock Eastern?
9 o'clock Eastern. And it's 5 hours.
That's 2 a.m.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's 9 o'clock Eastern time is when it starts, and it's going to be 5 hours, and they're staggering everything. So when you're watching it, because it's going to be streaming everywhere, they'll just be cutting back and forth between the 2 places, and then the people in those individual places will watch what's happening at the other venue on screens, right? But it's
Catch highlights on YouTube.
Yeah, and the whole thing, they said, came together in 48 hours. Wow. Yeah, and they had I was just reading an article, they were saying like artists were calling artists. Like John Mayer called Dave Matthews.
Wow.
Like to just get everybody on board. But that's a long
I
mean, it's raising money. It should be long,
yeah.
right? It can't be an hour and a half.
But they could start it at noon.
They could start it at any time. Yeah. Like it's wild to me that
like a music festival that takes place outside.
But when
start in the afternoon.
When you're looking for money, right?
No, I know.
You want the most amount of eyes.
Of course. And it's a work day.
But you're not going to get that when you started it at 9 o'clock.
They could have even made it longer by like what Maury said, starting it at noon, but then making it like an all-day thing where it goes till like midnight. But you just really stagger out all the performances and all of that stuff.
You want people to be home from work, right? Like all of that. Like I get that. And to do that where you get both, where you can kind of do like East Coast, West Coast, right? Like started at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon in California.
So it's 7 p.m. here.
7 p.m. here. You're going to get a large audience. It's a 5-hour show.
Yep.
You're going to get a large audience, right? But that is streaming everywhere. Like every single possible, like every company that has a platform to stream something,
TV.
But not TV. No, it's only streaming.
And not Tubi.
Yeah.
Poor Tubi. They missed out.
Tubi's not running it, eh? They didn't know? They didn't come on board?
Poor Tubi.
No, they couldn't lock a Tubi deal down?
Nah.
Is Tubi still around?
Yes.
Is it?
My
Yeah.
favorite documentary's on there.
Really?
Oh, is it the lady who found the baby on the side of the highway?
No, it's the Halston one.
The lady who's that what it's called? Yeah. The lady who found the baby on the
I think
side
it's
of
like
the
the
highway.
woman who found a baby on the side of the highway.
What happened to the baby?
Spoiler alert, it ended up being a fake story.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a
Don't
huge
you guys remember?
spoiler.
It was
on
in
Tubi, bro.
Huh?
It's on Tubi. Come on. Can't hate on Tubi. Poor Tubi. Damn, man. Damn.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Bill Burr was on the Rich Eisen show the other day, and I guess people are still talking about that thing that Howie Mandel did where he brought out Billy Corgan, and they did that whole thing where I guess they were saying that they're brothers and they were all pissed off. I still think the whole thing was a bit because that's just what Howie Mandel does. But here's Bill Burr talking about that. You listen to this and then you tell me if you think that he is just not saying it was a goof because
he doesn't want to ruin it?
Yeah.
Howie did what he did because he is a Hollywood whore and he doesn't care what happens. He could have said something and he just
threw it
brings
out there.
up all that weirdness. Howie, so he's like sort of hard to hate. How do you like hate a germaphobe? He's like not threatening. He just walks with his arms in so he doesn't rub against curtains that he owns. That's the weirdest thing about him. He's a strange man.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a work.
Yeah, right?
That's a work
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Thank you. I mean, it would be great if it was true.
If the hate and the animosity.
No, it would be great if they were actually brothers.
Oh, that.
Yeah. And I would like to see a roundtable discussion at that point with Billy Corgan, Bill Burr, Woody Harrelson, and Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, my gosh.
Because aren't they supposed to be brothers too?
Yeah.
Right?
The conversation.
Wouldn't that be great? I would love to hear that. Mm-hmm. How they just both found it would just be wild. I would
and
love
they all ended up in the profession that they ended up in.
Yes.
Ironically.
Yeah. I'd put them all in a movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Call it brothers. For real.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know about
I mean,
that.
what would be the payoff if it's fake? Like, what's
It's
the
just a
point?
goof. It's just a goof. Exactly. There was no point to that Dana White thing either.
It's just a massive troll
It's
job.
just a troll. That's all it is. Yeah.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Big news, Mocha.
I love to glide.
They're rebooting Little House on the Prairie.
The what?
You don't know what Little House on the Prairie is, do you?
Little House on the Prairie?
Yes. This was very popular in white homes.
It sounds like
It was a
in the 50s?
It was a show that ran from 74 to 83.
Okay.
And it was about this family in the 1800s that just lived on a farm, and it was like a show, like a family,
Yellowstone?
not like Yellowstone, right? Because it wasn't violent, right? But yeah, they're rebooting it now. Netflix is rebooting it now, but it's basically like 1883, but only not 1883, I guess, because it's going to be the same thing.
The board game Catan?
Well, no, it's not Settlers of Catan.
By the way, that game,
Yeah.
the most boring game ever.
Oh, I hate Settlers of Catan.
It is the worst.
The only thing I hate more than Settlers of Catan is the guy who goes, "Yo, you want to play Settlers?" I hate that guy more than I hate the game.
What a stupid game.
Anyway, you'll be happy to know my ma is going to be out of her mind.
Yeah,
Because
she's gonna
her
freak out?
birthday's tomorrow. I'm going to save this news and tell her for her birthday that they're rebooting. Michael Landon, come on. He was the guy. Michael Landon, you may know him. Another show that was popular in white households. Do you remember Highway to Heaven?
Isn't that a song by AC/DC?
No, that's Highway to Hell.
What?
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
More information coming out about that American Airlines flight that collided with a Black Hawk helicopter over Virginia and landed in the Potomac River. Several elite members of the U.S. figure skating team were among the 60 passengers on that flight. Also, Russian world figure skating champions Evgenia Shishkova and Vadim Nuamov were also on that flight with their son Maxim. U.S. figure skating said that the athletes were returning from a training camp in Wichita, Kansas. So, a lot of people from the U.S. figure skating team. Just devastating today. Absolutely devastating.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Spencer Pratt, there was a thing that happened after the LA wildfires where everybody was kind of like getting back on board with Spencer and Heidi. Oh. And one of the things that people had said was that Heidi should do Real Housewives, right?
Yeah.
Should be perfect for it. And then somebody else said to do this other thing that was on Bravo. And Spencer was like, I'm not going anywhere near Andy Cohen. Or anything that he represents until he apologizes, right? And everybody's like, oh, apologize for what? So this was a clip of Watch What Happens Live from 14 years ago.
Wow.
And this is when Heidi originally showed interest in doing Real Housewives.
Heidi Montag tweeted, watch out, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Here comes Heidi, along with a link to an article saying she and her husband were talking to our producers We're talking to our producers about coming on the show. Professionally, I'm not supposed to discuss any negotiations, so I have to parse my words here. That trash is delusional, and I would sooner stab my knives into my own eyes than see her on this network. But good news, Heidi, you're on my show tonight because you're the jack all every week.
So called her trash, right?
Really didn't want her on the show.
So Andy does a show, his radio show, and because after all this Heidi and Spencer stuff happened, people kept tagging Andy Cohen in all of this stuff, getting, hey, get Heidi, get Heidi, get Heidi, and then all the controversy sort of started to come back out again. So Andy Cohen does address this on his radio show.
So what I will say also is that was mean. That was 14 years ago. And what I really don't like about it is referring to her as trash. That is, that makes me, I don't like that at all. And I'm really sorry about that. So I apologize again, I guess.
That Real Housewives series, is that a creation of his, or does he have any part in it?
Who, Andy Cohen?
Yeah,
it's his show.
It's his show. Like he created it. He's a producer and everything.
Yeah.
Okay,
Am I wrong about that?
No,
that's
because I know
deal,
he's
right?
like all over the anything that has to do with Real
That's
Housewives.
his show.
He's always like doing the TV stuff for it. So I didn't know if it was.
So anyway, Spencer saw that apology and said it wasn't good enough. Because Andy didn't reach out privately. He says Andy knows how to reach Heidi. If and when he chooses to really say sorry, they'd be open to it. So that not good enough.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Question: how often should people be cleaning their yoga mats?
I would say. Oh, do you want an answer?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say like frequently, right?
I would say after every single time you use it.
Yeah, but even the ones at the gym, like the communal ones, like even the soft mats and stuff like that. So
most gyms, don't they have cleaning supplies for you? Like,
yeah, but half the time, no one actually
it's the
wipes
honor
the
system,
stuff.
though, right? So listen to this: nearly 75% of swab samples taken from fitness equipment like dumbbells, treadmills, and exercise mats tested positive for the Streptococcus strain that causes most infections. While Streptococcus aureus is found on many gym surfaces, exercise mats are particularly germy. They say trillions of microbes are shed from us like dead skin cells. They can be shed in the range of 1 million an hour. Shedding these microbes onto an exercise mat versus, say, like a dumbbell is especially problematic. Exercise mats are typically crafted from soft, porous material with tiny little grooves, much like Shem. They easily trap the oils, dead skin cells, and sweat that fall off your body when you exercise. And they say, depending on the pathogens you can contact from the exercise mats, you could develop a common cold, stomach flu, athlete's foot, or pink eye.
Athlete's foot. Oh.
Look at Shep.
What the hell, man?
Cry.
Look at you, bro.
What? Soft, porous, with tiny grooves? Right?
So embarrassing.
I only did that story for the joke.
I was going to ask.
I only did that story for the
after
joke.
You did the
I don't
joke,
care about exercise
After you did the
mats.
joke, you said the joke, I stopped paying attention.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea what you said.
Wash your exercise mats.
Okay.
Or you're gonna get pink eye. Right? That's all you need to know.
Ew.
Yeah,
right?
Not like Shem, just to be clear.
Cry.
The Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
WWE Hall of Fame. So they really pulled one over on Triple H, Mocha.
Oh.
So they were announcing who's going to be inducted into the WWE Wrestling Hall of Fame at WrestleMania. And Triple H was up at the podium, and he was going to be doing some of the announcements. And he brought out Shawn Michaels and Undertaker to help him out with the announcements, right? And then Shawn Michaels and Undertaker get on the microphones and say this.
HBK and The Undertaker have made an executive decision here today. It's way past overdue. Though you are in the Hall of Fame as a member of D-Generation X, it is only fitting that the cerebral assassin, the Game, Triple H, at WrestleMania 41, take his rightful place in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Absolutely. Happy about that?
Yes. Yes.
You're happy?
Yes,
Triple
of
H in the Hall of
course.
Fame?
Deserves it, right, Jeff?
Okay.
So deserves it.
Okay. Here is Triple H.
So from a guy that usually has something to say about everything, I'm speechless. I'm going to kill Nick when we leave here.
Poor Nick.
If you see somebody flying off of the roof,
damn, Nick.
Just ignore it.
You deserve it. You deserve it. It's still real to me, damn it.
I don't know what else to say. Just thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Thank you, Paul.
You deserve it.
Thanks for listening to the Roz and Mocha Show podcast.
Catch the guys live
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10
on Kiss 92.5.
KISS925.com.
Or download the Kiss 92.5 app.